come to mind the first time you laid eyes on her?
The first one, beautiful, talented.
In 1990, Chris Perez, the lead guitarist for Selena y los Dinos, was called a cancer by Selena's father, Abraham Quintanilla, and kicked out of the band. What followed was 2 years of stolen glances, secret meetings, and quiet kisses in tour bus bathrooms. Every interaction was a gamble, every phone call a risk. By April 1992, they had no choice left. Selena slipped into Chris's hotel room before dawn and told him, "We're getting married." Less than 10 minutes later, with 2 witnesses, they were legally husband and wife. It was a marriage that was hidden from the world, hidden from her family, and hidden from the stage she commanded. For decades, Chris stayed silent, carrying the weight of their story alone. Then, in March 2025, he finally spoke, revealing letters, losses, and the haunting echo of Selena's voice that still guides him. The story of love, rebellion, and secrecy was darker than anyone had imagined. Selena Quintanilla was born on April 16, 1971, at Freeport Community Hospital in Lake Jackson, Texas. The youngest of 3, she arrived into a family already struggling to stay afloat. Abraham Quintanilla Jr. had music in him, but it didn't pay the bills, and Marcela Zamora did whatever work she could find. Money was always scarce, and each month felt like a new test. The oil recession of the late 1970s made matters worse. Their restaurant, Papagayo, failed in 1981, and welfare became part of daily life. Moving from house to house became routine, a survival tactic more than a fresh start. And in the middle of all that stress, a tiny voice began to cut through the noise. Selena, just 3 years old, would sing in the car, copying songs she heard on the radio. Her pitch and timing weren't just good, they were perfect. That moment made Abraham freeze. He saw not just a child, but a chance at something bigger. Selena's singing wasn't cute, it was undeniable. Abraham turned the family garage into a practice room, and her siblings A.B. and Suzette joined in. Tejano music, a mix of Mexican roots with country and pop, became their world. From the earliest notes, Selena didn't sound like a child learning. She sounded like she belonged on stage. By age 9, she was the lead singer of Selena y los Dinos. That wasn't just a title, it was pressure. Childhood was compressed between rehearsals and gigs, each day a blend of music and survival. They played weddings, fairs, and local events, rarely knowing if anyone would show up or if the pay would cover the night. But Abraham believed in her, and he pushed relentlessly. In that small, run-down garage, the seeds of a star were being planted, shaped by discipline, sacrifice, and raw, unstoppable talent. By the time she was 9, Selena was leading a band, and her life had already become a balancing act between childhood and career. Gigs were unpredictable. Some crowds were rough, some indifferent. Abraham kept the family focused on survival, seeing the stage as a lifeline. Money remained tight. In 1979, bankruptcy forced the family to leave Lake Jackson, moving to Corpus Christi with fewer comforts than before. Homeschooling replaced public school, and rehearsals stretched up to 8 hours a day. Music became both work and world, replacing playgrounds and friends. Yet even with all the rules and pressure, fear would appear. Stage fright at age 5, for example. But Selena didn't quit. That pattern of confronting fear would follow her for life, and every note she sang carried not just talent, but determination. Every milestone came with a price. Abraham reportedly sold instruments just to buy Selena her first microphone, a Vega model, symbolizing more than gear. It represented their commitment to music as a path out of poverty. Early gigs, even those paying just $50, were lessons in humility and resilience. Some audiences booed, some threw food, and some refused to take a young girl seriously in a male-dominated scene. Yet each humiliation became fuel. Abraham's fierce protection of his daughter shaped her early career, and Selena absorbed it all. Fear, rejection, exhaustion, they became tools, not barriers. Music wasn't just what she did, it became who she was, a lifeline in a life defined by struggle and sacrifice, the beginning of a story that would soon explode far beyond Corpus Christi. Even a star in the making had moments of fear. At age 5, Selena reportedly froze during a local talent show. Most children might have cried, retreated, or given up entirely, but Selena didn't. That brief tremor of fear became a lesson she carried for life. Fear is temporary, but determination is permanent. The family's sacrifices were immense. Abraham reportedly sold instruments just to buy her first microphone, a simple Vega model, but in their household, it symbolized survival and hope. Each practice, each gig, each failure was training, not just for stagecraft, but for life itself. By the time Selena was 10, she had performed in countless small venues, sometimes facing hostile crowds, sexism, or indifference. Those early moments taught her resilience, showing her that talent alone was never enough. You had to command the room. In these years, music was both refuge and battlefield. It became the thing that could lift the family out of poverty, the thing that could give her a voice when all else felt uncertain. And Selena absorbed it all, developing not just her voice, but an unshakable poise that would later carry her through chaos and tragedy. By age 10, Selena was performing for money, a milestone that carried both pride and pressure. Her first documented paid gig at Chantilly Lace in Corpus Christi earned the family $50, a modest sum but a symbol of possibility. Not everyone cheered. Some patrons booed her simply because she was a girl performing in a male-dominated Tejano scene. Food and objects were thrown, insults were hurled. Abraham reportedly threatened to pull the band if audiences didn't respect her, showing early lessons in advocacy and resilience. Touring became a grueling routine, often in a borrowed van, traveling hundreds of miles daily to chase small venues and fairs. Despite the challenges, Selena's voice captivated audiences. Even young, she learned the essential truth of performing. It isn't enough to be talented. You must take command, win the room, and earn respect. Every rejection, every snub, every crowd that doubted her became fuel. By blending raw talent with relentless work, Selena was not just surviving the Tejano circuit. She was beginning to dominate it, setting the stage for a legacy no one yet imagined. The grind intensified. By 1982, Selena's family moved into a rundown house in Corpus Christi, and the band traveled incessantly. The borrowed van became their stage on wheels, transporting them from small-town fairs to community events, sometimes covering 200 miles a day. Selena performed bilingual covers, mixing English hits from Donna Summer and Kiss with Mexican roots, a combination few expected from a Tejano act. No formal training existed, just repetition, raw talent, and the family's insistence on perfection. The pace created tension. Siblings argued over arrangements, lyrics, and stage presence. The band became a pressure cooker, with creativity clashing against survival. Yet each challenge sharpened Selena. Every mile on the road, every grueling rehearsal, every skeptical audience built not just skill, but confidence. Music wasn't optional. It was survival. And as audiences grew, so did her reputation. A young girl who could perform with power and authenticity that felt decades beyond her age. As Selena matured, so did tensions within the band. By 1983, arguments between her and AB over creative control began to surface. AB, protective of their family sound, clashed with Selena's desire to explore melodies and lyrics her way. Marcella often mediated, trying to maintain peace, but every disagreement carried weight. This wasn't just sibling squabbling, it was a clash over survival. Their family business depended entirely on music, and every decision risked both income and cohesion. Abraham's tight control added another layer. Rehearsals were strict, mistakes were magnified. Young Selena was being trained not just to sing, but to lead, to endure pressure, and to perform under scrutiny. Yet even under tension, she flourished. Her voice, charisma, and stage presence only grew stronger. The pressure created a paradox. Conflict fueled excellence. These early conflicts were shaping more than songs. They were shaping a star capable of handling fame, scrutiny, and tragedy in ways few could survive. By 1984, Selena and the band self-released their debut album on cassette, selling roughly 500 copies door to door. The achievement should have been celebrated, but it came with an early lesson in the harsh realities of the music industry. Bootleg copies appeared almost immediately, stolen and duplicated without permission. Abraham reportedly sued a small label for $2,000 in stolen royalties, signaling to Selena that even small success could be threatened. The experience was formative. Success, they learned, was fragile. It could be stolen, copied, or undermined in an instant. Behind the scenes, Selena's talent continued to blossom, but so did her understanding of the business. Each stolen cassette became a lesson in vigilance, negotiation, and resilience. Music wasn't just about singing, it was about surviving, protecting, and thriving in a world that would constantly try to take advantage of anyone daring to succeed. These lessons would echo throughout her career, preparing her for fame, controversy, and the unimaginable challenges that lay ahead. By 1986, Selena's career was reaching a turning point. At the Tejano Music Awards in San Antonio on February 28th, she performed in front of 5,000 fans, and reports say the standing ovation lasted around 5 minutes. She won Female Vocalist of the Year, proving that her talent wasn't just recognized at home, it commanded a stage that had been dominated by men for decades. The moment was thrilling, but the pressure only grew. More shows, longer tours, more scrutiny. Audiences expected perfection, and Selena delivered it, night after night, mile after mile. Yet behind the applause, the grind continued. The family van, the borrowed instruments, and the strict rehearsals all carried on, shaping not just her skill, but her endurance. Now here's a question for you. If you were in Selena's shoes, performing nonstop from childhood, would you have been able to handle that pressure? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this story, because it only gets more intense from here. Every award, every cheer, every standing ovation became fuel for her next challenge, teaching Selena that success could be public, but the struggle was private. As Selena's fame grew, so did demands on her appearance and behavior. Promoters often told Abraham that Selena needed to tone down her charisma, as if her energy could overshadow male performers. At only 15, she had to navigate not just music, but image control, balancing her personal style with public expectations. Meanwhile, piracy continued to plague their efforts. Thousands of bootleg copies of her songs circulated across Texas and Mexico. Even as she won awards, she had to defend her music and maintain her credibility. Through it all, Selena remained remarkably composed. The discipline instilled by Abraham, the countless hours in the garage, and the lessons of early rejection made her resilient. She learned to turn criticism into strategy, shaping both her performances and her public persona, blending boldness with respect for her fans, a skill that would define her career. Selena didn't stop at talent alone. She expanded her skill set to thrive in the Latin music world. At home, she spoke mostly English, but on stage, she performed entirely in Spanish. Without formal lessons, she learned phonetically, listening, repeating, and mastering pronunciation for live audiences. That commitment allowed her to connect deeply with fans, even in communities where English was foreign. The bilingual skill gave her versatility few others had. Every performance became a chance to bridge cultures, blending American pop with Mexican roots. It wasn't easy, and mistakes happened, but Selena turned each slip into an opportunity. Her growing ability to communicate in Spanish expanded her reach, setting the stage for major label interest and eventually catapulting her beyond the regional Tejano market. This was the quiet preparation that would make her unstoppable. By 1989, major label interest emerged. Jose Bahar of EMI Latin recognized Selena's potential beyond the Texas circuit. Negotiations were tense. Abraham demanded control, fearing outside interference, while the label pushed for marketing strategies that sometimes clashed with family priorities. Selena reportedly gave a private audition that convinced the label she was ready for bigger stages. A compromise kept Abraham as manager, while allowing Selena to expand her reach. Signing with EMI Latin meant new pressure, more recording, more touring, and more attention from a world unaccustomed to a young Latina crossing genres. It was the kind of opportunity that could either elevate or overwhelm. For Selena, it was a chance to prove that talent, discipline, and resilience could translate into nationwide fame. Her music, crafted in a cramped garage, was now poised to conquer charts she had only dreamed of. In 1994, Selena released Amore Prohibido, a song and album that would define her legacy. Inspired by forbidden love stories from her family's history, the music blended techno-cumbia with hints of hip-hop and pop, creating a sound unlike anything else in the Tejano scene. But the innovative mix provoked backlash. Some Mexican radio stations banned tracks, claiming the beats were too American. Fans mobilized, petitions circulated, and stations reversed course after realizing the demand was unstoppable. The controversy only fueled success. Amore Prohibido climbed charts, spent 97 non-consecutive weeks atop Billboard's regional Mexican albums, and sold millions worldwide. Selena had transformed controversy into momentum, using attention, even negative, as a catalyst for growth. Her music, her image, and her story now resonated far beyond Texas, turning a young girl from Corpus Christi into an icon whose impact would echo for decades. February 26, 1994, marked a turning point in Selena's career. On her 23rd birthday weekend, she walked into the Houston Astrodome to perform for 64,405 fans, shattering Elvis Presley's 1956 record of 26,000 for a Latin artist. The energy was electric, but then the unexpected happened. A power surge plunged the massive venue into darkness at 9:47 p.m. More than 60,000 fans screamed. Most performers might have panicked, but Selena didn't. With a flashlight in hand, she joked with the crowd in Spanish and began singing a cappella, her voice holding the room as if it were an instrument of magic. Even the backup generators failed under the strain of $50,000 worth of lighting equipment, yet she treated the blackout not as a disaster, but as a test of poise and presence. When the lights returned, she resumed Amore Prohibido and extended the show to 2.5 hours. Reports linked the Univision broadcast to 5 million viewers. That night solidified her reputation. Selena wasn't just a singer, she was a performer who could command even chaos, turning potential disaster into triumph. By February 16, 1995, Selena's perseverance paid off on a national stage. She became the first female Tejano artist to win a Grammy for Best Mexican-American Album for Live, defeating 10 male contenders. The award validated years of relentless touring, rehearsal, and personal sacrifice. Yet with attention came new pressures. Anonymous calls reportedly threatened her performances. Technical failures during the Tejano Music Awards, including shorted equipment, tested her nerves. Some fans, fueled by jealousy or rumor, spread darker whispers. Even as she rose, Selena learned that fame didn't just bring applause, it invited scrutiny, envy, and danger. But she remained calm, performing flawlessly, maintaining composure under pressure, and showing the world that talent combined with discipline could withstand both applause and threats. Each triumph was paired with tension, reminding her that success always carried its shadows. Selena's artistry wasn't limited to music, it extended to style. During a June 1994 promotional tour, she wore bodysuits she designed herself, encrusted with Swarovski crystals costing $2,000 each. Her unique blend of Tejano flair and pop showmanship became her signature, but fame magnified every detail. On July 15, 1994, during a live Univision taping in Miami, a wardrobe malfunction left her midriff exposed for 45 seconds before staff intervened. Millions watched. Abraham's fury led to reinforced designs, yet the incident boosted her notoriety and merchandise sales. Selena turned mistakes into opportunity, showing an instinct for transformation that went beyond performance. Fashion, image, and charisma became extensions of her music. Every outfit, every appearance, every stage move reinforced her ability to navigate public scrutiny while maintaining authenticity, a skill that would carry her through both controversy and catastrophe. Selena wasn't just an artist, she was a savvy businesswoman. By late 1994, her boutiques in Corpus Christi were grossing roughly $1 million annually. Yet success brought betrayal. Yolanda Saliva, the fan club president and boutique manager, reportedly embezzled tens of thousands of dollars. Selena confronted the issue personally, firing Saliva in March 1995. But Saliva didn't disappear quietly. She purchased a gun and would later become a lethal threat. Selena's life was a delicate balance: touring, recording, maintaining a public image, and running a business that sometimes felt like it could collapse under mismanagement. Despite the pressure, she excelled. She was hands-on, learning financial responsibility and trust, and ensuring that her ventures reflected her standards. Business was another arena where discipline and resilience, lessons learned in the garage and on the road, determined survival and sometimes life itself. Amid fame, Selena's personal life was complicated. She met Chris Perez in 1989, and the connection was immediate. But Abraham forbade the relationship, fearing distractions from the family's machine. Selena and Chris dated in secrecy. Notes hidden, meetings stolen, kisses in tour bus bathrooms. In 1990, Abraham discovered the relationship, calling Chris a cancer and firing him. Yet the love endured. For 2 years, they navigated secret calls, letters, and clandestine meetings until the only solution was marriage. On April 2, 1992, Selena arrived at Chris's hotel room, and within minutes they were legally wed. The marriage forced reluctant acceptance from Abraham, but tension persisted. Even the honeymoon was a covert operation: hidden hotels, secret trips, all while the public saw only a smiling star. This private love story intertwined with career pressures, shaping both her music and her resilience. Every secret meeting, every hidden note, every forbidden kiss added layers to a life already filled with relentless public and private challenges. By 1995, Selena was on the verge of a major breakthrough, crossing over into the English-speaking pop world. Her album Dreaming of You was in production, with Los Angeles sessions bringing bigger producers, stricter demands, and a push to Americanize her sound. The pressure was intense: long hours, little rest, and constant tweaking of her voice to fit mainstream expectations. Selena felt torn. She wanted to stay true to her unique style while opening doors to global audiences. Balancing the demands of a major label, her family's expectations, and her own standards created a tension few could understand. Each recording session became a test of stamina and identity, a microcosm of her life. Perfection demanded, personal expression challenged, yet a relentless drive pushing her forward. Every note she sang carried the weight of expectation and the promise of something bigger than regional fame. Even with English album sessions underway, Selena continued touring non-stop. The 1994 Baila America tour reportedly sold over 300,000 tickets across 10 states. Border delays, technical mishaps, and punishing schedules became routine. One notable moment occurred at the El Paso border, where officials held the band for hours. The crowd grew restless, and Selena turned the moment into performance, singing a cappella to keep spirits lifted. Fans later remembered it as a miraculous experience rather than a frustrating delay. She balanced exhaustion, pain, and relentless expectation with grace, showing an ability to turn chaos into connection. Touring was both her life and her sacrifice. Every mile traveled, every stage faced, became a testament to her resilience. Selena wasn't just performing. She was living the life of someone carrying the hopes of a family, a fan base, and an emerging legacy. Despite success, danger lurked within her own circle. Yolanda Saliva, fired from the boutiques for embezzlement, escalated from theft to threat. She purchased a .38 caliber revolver and plotted against Selena. On March 31, 1995, the tension turned lethal. Selena, attempting to retrieve financial records, was shot once in the back at close range. Remarkably, she ran approximately 400 yards to the hotel lobby, warning staff to lock doors and call 911. Even in pain, she acted with awareness and courage, naming her attacker before collapsing. That split-second heroism revealed the fortitude behind her fame. This was the same young woman who had turned stage fright, exhaustion, and public scrutiny into mastery. Her life, filled with music, love, and ambition, was cut tragically short, leaving a world stunned by the sudden loss of a star at her peak. Selena's death shocked millions. Her body lay in a closed casket at Bayfront Plaza Auditorium in Corpus Christi on April 3, 1995, surrounded by 5,000 white roses. By 10 a.m., fans lined nearly a mile along Shoreline Boulevard. Roughly 60,000 people paid their respects, some fainting, some sobbing openly. Rumors swirled that the coffin was empty, prompting the family to prove she was inside. Her funeral became one of the largest public mourning events in U.S. music history, reflecting the deep connection fans felt. For many, Selena was more than a performer. She represented hope, resilience, and the promise that someone like them could rise from hardship to greatness. In life, she had bridged cultures with music. In death, she unified communities with grief and admiration. Her influence continued, echoing in record-breaking album sales, tributes, and an enduring presence in popular culture. Even decades later, Selena's story remained alive. In March 2025, Chris Perez opened up in interviews, revealing how he still hears her voice guiding decisions and cherishes her handwritten love letters. Her music and legacy transcended tragedy. Dreaming of You, released posthumously on July 18, 1995, sold 331,555 copies in its first week and debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, a historic achievement for a predominantly Spanish-language album. Texas declared April 16th as Selena Day just weeks after her death, and in 2020, the U.S. Postal Service honored her with a commemorative stamp. The legal chapter surrounding Yolanda Saliva resurfaced, with the Texas Board of Pardons denying parole in March 2025, citing the planning and danger involved. Selena's family and Chris encouraged fans to focus on her love and music, not the tragedy. Her story is a testament to resilience, talent, and enduring influence. A life lived fully, even if far too short, and a legacy that continues to inspire new generations.